Thank you so much for joining me. This is Anna from Craft Me a Card, and I'm crafting for the crafter, and that is you. This is the card that I will be sharing with you today, and it's going to be the 6th and last card of this customized Christmas card series. I thought it would be a good idea to include the people in the household that this card is going to include the names on Santa's good list. I thought that would be cute. And this works especially well for a household that has more than, I would say, 4 members. In this case, this household has 5, has 3 children and 2 adults, which is mom and dad. So they also belong on the good list. Why not? And for this one, I went ahead and I used my Cricut to cut out a very cute little Santa Claus. Here's the Cricut working for me, and it cuts out these little pieces that allows me to put together an image or a figure. In this case, it's going to be Santa Claus. And the size that I prefer to cut these little figures out is about 3 inches. And I just go ahead and I just stick my little Santa Claus together, piecing all the little pieces together. And this is just with liquid glue. It's easy to do. And once I have my little Santa Claus all put together, I went ahead and I added some puff paint to the places where the Santa Claus suit should be white. And this was just to give it a different texture. Next, I decided to work on the list, and this you could do it just by writing the names out, but I don't like my handwriting very much, so I decided to print it out. And after some fidgeting with it, I finally understood how the names should be placed, and I went ahead and I printed it out correctly. Then I went ahead with my pencil, drew out how the scroll form should be, and then with a black marker I just went around it and traced it. Then with some pair of scissors just went ahead and cut all around it, and that gave me the scroll I was looking for. Next, I go for this BB Crafts die. This is one that has the stitched border, and I go ahead and I picked my favorite pattern paper, seems like it this year, is this Merry Christmas. I got this one from Hobby Lobby. I go ahead and I grab this die and I cut out one of the layers. This is the layer where the Santa Claus is going to be placed. And I just wanted to share with you guys quickly how I store my dies, well, some of my dies. And I just grab these CD cases and I add some magnets to it, and I just place them. I put numbers so that I know what die is in each box, and this is how I store some of my dies. Next, I grab my card base and I go ahead and crease it, and as I always do, I place it on top of the first layer that I will be putting on the card, and I go around it with my X-Acto knife so I can cut it perfectly to its size. And this is a 6.5 by 5 inch card. I missed it. I'm so sorry. I missed the part where I take out the middle part of the red piece that will not be seen. And I also missed where I die cut the next layer, which is this pretty blue, as you can see here. And just with some liquid glue, I go ahead and I stick these on to my card base. First I do the red, then I do the blue. Then I go ahead and I place on top of these the die cut piece with the Merry Christmas all around, and this is where my Santa Claus is going to be placed. So just eyeballing where exactly I want everything. I see here, I kind of like sketch it out, and I see that I want to add some real string to the bag, to Santa's bag. So I just go ahead and I cut out the pieces where the string is cut out, and I add this gold ribbon or string. And this string is very metallic-y, so I decide to use some Jewel-Lit glue on it so that it could stick better. Regular glue I don't think would have done such a good job as the Jewel-Lit glue. I go ahead and I create a little bow so that could also go on the bag. And using some of this fabric fusion glue, which is one of my new loves that I found at Joann's, I go ahead and I place the bow on top of the bag. And I just hold it down with some tweezers. Just wait and give it a little bit of time to dry and stick into place. And I also decide afterwards, after placing the bow, to add some distress just the edges of the bag, just to give it some dimension. Next, using some regular glue, some tacky glue, I go ahead and I stick the Santa bag on the card. Next, I glue on the scroll, and last but not least, I glue on my Santa Claus right center in the middle. I also decide to add some snowflakes, some glittery snowflakes. And this is just to give it, you know, another element, something else to look at. I just felt that even though the blue paper is glittery, it just needed something else. It was too plain for my liking. Now here comes my battle with the sentiment. I cut out different colors of sentiment, and this is one of the ones that I first went for, this craft color. So I thought it was too plain, then I went ahead and I cut it out of this glittery red, and here's a recommendation for you guys. I found this paper at Hobby Lobby. It's called the Paper Studio, and it's glittery paper, and I just want to share that it cuts like butter. It's one of the few glittery papers that I have found that die cuts perfectly. So if you're looking for a glittery paper that will die cut well, will die cut great actually, it's this glittery paper. So I go ahead and I add this red glittery Merry Christmas that I die cut, and I felt it was just getting lost in the card. I didn't like it. So this is when I decide to place the cardstock color Merry Christmas on top of the red, and that seemed to work. I felt that the Merry Christmas wasn't getting as lost. So just with some liquid glue, I go ahead and I stick these two on top of each other. And what you want to do is just set them just with a little bit of difference from each other, just so that the glittery red can be seen in back of it. And yeah, this seems to be something that I like better than the red. So I still felt that the card was needing something, so to add something different, I went ahead with my corner chomper, and I went ahead and I rounded the corners, and that helps it a little bit. I was like, it's still missing something, so I decided to grab some Stickles and go around the card and make it frosty, frosting it just a tad. I also went ahead and I added some eyes to Santa Claus, and these little tiny gems made the perfect eyes for him. So I still felt something was missing, and I was like, okay, let's give this bag some more dimensions. So I just grabbed this blending brush and I added some distress ink around it, just to make it seem like it had something inside, right? And I still wasn't happy with the card. It still felt too simple, so I decided to go ahead and add some faux stitching all around it. Maybe I was thinking maybe it's just too much red. I left too much red around, so I added some faux stitching, and I liked it a little more until my daughter came and she said it needs some color and she suggested for me to add green. So I decided to cut out the Merry Christmas again with green, and you know what? That seemed to be the solution, because I was very content with the card after that. So just by adding some liquid glue on top of my existing Merry Christmas, I went ahead and I added the green glittery Merry Christmas, and I still left the red just peeking from behind. So if I were to do it all again, I think I wouldn't have left that red border so wide, but I think I would have still added the green Merry Christmas. So this completes my last customized Christmas card for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. So as we're at the very tail end of this horrible 2020, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. I am very thankful for each and every one of you. And as always, I hope you get inspired. I hope you create and be happy. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oops. Why didn't I think of this before? Why didn't I think of this before? It has brown, it has white, it has red, it has blue.
I know, but it's missing color.
It needs green, she says. Where do I put green?
I'm saying because it's matching with here and it has no pop. You can't see the pop.
Look, what about this green? Okay, I'll try it. I'll make it pop. Mensa, mensa que soy. Mensa, 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 mensa.